What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Elite Cast. I'm Parker Rogers, and of course, I'm always joined with
Bressington.
And guys, we are joined again today by Evan Harrington, offensive assistant for the Dallas Cowboys and the founder and creator of Europe's Elite. Today, we're just going to be talking football. We've been talking a lot pre-podcast just about football, so we're just going to kind of continue the conversation on here. Last we were talking about Darius Geis, a former running back for the Washington Commanders. Matt, you were saying.
Yeah, man, he was insane in the LSU, and I predicted he would be better than Leonard Fournette when he came out of the draft because he was so good. And I think it was knee injuries. I can't remember which one, but I think it was ACL and injuries that kind of set him out of that like top 5 running back picture. But yeah, I thought he was going to be insane. I'm trying to think of like the best players that you would have been around, Evan, during your time in Washington and now with Dallas. Obviously with Zeke, you've got people like Tyron Smith, you got Dak Prescott, and then over there you had Adrian Peterson. Well, who do you reckon are like the best players you've ever had the opportunity to be around?
That is a question. Honestly, I always tell everybody this: that the best player I ever seen play live was AJ Green. We played the University of Georgia, and when he came back off of suspension, and the things he was doing was just absolutely insane. We had 2 cornerbacks on our team at the University of Colorado who got drafted. One went first round. That was Jimmy Smith. The other one was Jaleel Brown. And Jaleel was guarding him at first, and AJ Green was going off. And then Jimmy got to go against him. It was insane. Played against RG3 that year as well.
Was that his Heisman year?
Played against, I think so. I think it was his Heisman year. Played against Andrew Luck that year as well. Nate Solder was my left tackle. David Bakhtiari was my right tackle. Played against Anthony Thomas that year as well. That was my junior year. Played against Prince Amukamara, back drafted first round by the Giants that year. In junior college, Jason Pierre-Paul, that was my roommate at College of the Canyons. Very, very phenomenal player. Of course, when I got to Washington, Adrian Peterson, without a doubt, he's the GOAT, and the human being ever want to see. One thing I truly admire about AP is he comes off the field and he'll get in your face and be like, hey, coach, how was that? And granted, I'm the new coach, and he walked to me and he's asked a question. And, I had an answer for him. If I didn't have an answer for him, he probably would never speak to me again. And one thing I'll say to you guys is, the great players, they'll always want to be coached, man. So you better have a freaking answer, because now players are going to want to know the why. Coaches are want to know the why. So make sure you have a why. You're detailing your work. Vernon Davis was there as well. Alex Smith, phenomenal player. Yeah, man, I've been lucky to be around some really good. Played against Bruce Irvin in junior college as well. He was playing safety at that time when he was at Mount Sac. That's how athletic that guy was.
Holy cow!
Yeah, it was pretty amazing. When I played up in Canada, played with Sean Lemon. That's one of my best friends. I think he's like number 3 in sacks in total for the CFL. Really, really good player. He actually had the opportunity to play with the Steelers and with the 49ers. Coming out of high school, Joe Hayden. He played against Navarro in high school. Like Phil Taylor, I'm not sure if you guys know who Phil Taylor was. He went first round. He was like the biggest human being I ever seen in my life in high school, and was that size. Like it was pretty impressive. Those are some of the best opportunity to see play, but hands down, AJ Green was just a phenomenal player.
So that's crazy for me, obviously, because I've grown up in the UK my whole life, I've recently like it started getting into football probably about 2015, 2016. So like hearing these names, I'm like, it's crazy. Like to have you like, oh yeah, no, I've just played with this dude, and I came against AJ Green, and I'm like, I used to watch these guys on TV like every week, and that's wild for me to hear personally, because obviously that's like it feels, and I'm sure a lot of people will be able to relate. When you live in the UK or Europe, America feels like such a long distance away, and like
Mhm.
the players seem like they're not even real people, which I think a lot of people forget that these are just normal people that are like you and me. But yeah, that's crazy. But yeah, they feel so far away, and I think that having you and then the link between me, you, and so I'm like two connections away from AJ Green, and I'm gonna take that. I'm gonna take that to people. They're like, oh, who do you know? I'm like, well, my friend knows AJ Green. My friend's in the Cowboys.
No AJ Green and just
Mm.
played against the best. So
But like I was saying to you and Caleb at some point, I was like, we have the two main dudes in the Europe's Elite that both made it to the NFL, and now we got other people like me and Parker trying to replicate the same response. And yeah, how do you reckon? Just kind of coaching in Europe, like obviously Parker's like 19, I'm 22. How do you reckon the like generation of young coaches is coming up into America and Europe? How do you reckon that's gonna like push the game forward?
I think it all starts with just networking and then just perfecting your craft and trying to be the best at what you do. Like I explained to you guys before when we weren't recording, man, I took jobs where I wasn't making any money, took a chance and took unpaid leave off to go be in the States and live on campus in Kansas, went from Switzerland to Kansas. My wife had never lived in the States prior to that. I mean, she did, but with a family, it's kind of different, and you gotta bet on yourself and take chances. And I've taken chances. I've taken jobs where I took a pay cut because I thought it was a better situation to propel me into another situation. And I think you just gotta trust God and trust in your path, man, and have a circle of guys who can lean on you. Been plenty of times where I second guessed myself, but I leaned on my circle. Caleb being one of those guys. My parents, my wife, my closest friends who kind of encouraged me. And there are going to be times where you have self-doubt. There are going to be times where it is scary. And if your dreams don't scare you, you're not dreaming big enough, man. Like real talk. If it don't scare you, if you don't have any nervousness about it, man, it's not big enough. Everybody's confident, but shoot, there's some things where you gotta, say, okay, man, I've got to really focus. Let me get some advice on how to attack this task. And that's not just with football, that's with anything in life. When I became a father, made sure I reached out to people who had kids, my friends who had kids, my father, and say, hey, man, what should I do in this situation and things like that. Same things goes for when you have hard math tests, you're going through school, you're going to go to the smartest guy in your group who is going to be an engineer or he's going to be a banker, and you say, hey, man, how I get this stat problem done? You know what I mean? So it's the same thing in football, perfecting your craft and then finding others who are doing the same thing that you want to do, but at a higher level. The beautiful thing about now and you guys' generation, there's so many avenues for you guys to get connected with people. COVID was horrible, but the best thing about COVID is you had these clinics that are online, Zoom, GroupMe, whatever it is. I forget the other one, what it's called, but where you can reach out and you're a phone call away from talking to someone else, who's at a higher level. So network your tail off. Of course, everyone's not going to be able to reach back out to you, but if you're doing some good stuff, man, and you're putting yourself out there, like this podcast, for example, you guys are doing an awesome job in this podcast. And it's only a matter of time before someone says, hey, I like what they're doing. Like, let's dig deeper into it. But if you stay committed and you watch and you revisit and you see, how did I do that? How can I improve on that? I think there's something great you can do. Just like we were talking earlier, and Matt, you taking notes. You're like, man, I'm trying to learn. I do the same thing when I'm interviewing somebody or I'm interviewing with somebody, man, I'm taking notes. When I'm interviewing with somebody else, I'm taking notes. When I'm on a Zoom, I'm taking notes all the time, just trying to learn and pick somebody's brain. So, yeah.
For sure. It's levels as well, isn't it? It's like I think surrounding yourself with a good circle. So for me, my girlfriend's been a huge leveler for me. And I was saying about, oh man, I'm not sure, like, you know, I want to coach in Europe and I'm not sure if I'm going to get to that development, you know, like self-doubt that we all go through. And she's like, 3 years ago in like COVID, you were like an assistant, not even a positional coach, just like a person coaching. And then you went to positional coach and then you had an all-star in that one. And now I'm now at UE, which I'm lucky enough to be scouting and doing defensive work for UE, who are the national champions of the UK. And now I get to learn under Dan, who's an excellent head coach. And it's just about kind of leveling up and then stabilizing yourself and then jumping to that next level and then stabilizing and then carrying on, like kind of developing, picking up on advice from who you can. Because we talked in the last episode about all these influential coaches that you've had in your playing and coaching career, and you rattled off like 20 odd names of people who you've learned from. And I think that's super important and definitely something that I'm going to take with me, of just get people that you can learn from, learn everything you can from them, and have like a good circle of people that you can learn from. Like Parker, you've interviewed like David Ajabo, and you know, you're still obviously young in your Europe's Elite career, same as me, and you've been interviewing like NFL athletes and that. So like, it's definitely been like a really good experience working with Europe's Elite, and it's given me a lot of opportunities. Like I'd left the UK before, but never like I went to Copenhagen. I coached receivers in Copenhagen with Caleb, and then I covered the Euros, and I've had like a lot of opportunities to do that in Europe. And yeah, it's just been I'm very grateful for the opportunity.
Yeah, it's like Evan said, you got to take that leap of faith. And if your dreams don't scare you, like I think that's a great quote. If your dreams don't scare you, you're not dreaming hard enough. You're not dreaming big enough. I think that's something that a lot of young athletes need to hear. You know, dream big, take that leap of faith. Like that, and it's only going to work to benefit you. Like if you're one of the guys, it's like, yeah, man, I don't know. Do I stay here in Europe? Do I go over to America to play high school to develop myself? No, go over to America to play high school. I had a teammate this past season. I know he was kind of going back and forth a little bit and trying to figure out what to do last summer. I remember this very clearly. It was the day that I was moving back to America from the Czech Republic. He announced like, "Hey, I've just decided that I'm going to go to North Carolina for the year, and I'm gonna play football." And he went over. I tracked his progress like weekly. I think he, like, as far as like physically, like just in the 8 months that he was there, got tons stronger. Athletically, you go over there and you're playing high school football, you're around other really high level athletes, high level coaches, and it always helps to have another set of eyes, another set of like another set of coaches to help develop your skill. Take that leap of faith, go over there. It's only going to benefit you. It's only going to help you. It's only going to further develop you and push you into the spotlight, push you into that place that you're wanting to get to. I know, like with me, like Europe's Elite, I was like, Caleb messaged me when I announced my commitment to my college. And then after that, I was like sitting there and I was like, I see a couple of things that, that could be useful. I took that leap of faith. I messaged Caleb and here I am about a year and a half later. So always take that leap of faith.
Yeah, like my initial joining of UFC, I did it on a bus on the way back from Birmingham. I was in Birmingham. I was coming back, and I was like, I'm over there. I was like, what do I want to do? I was 18, and I had just finished my spell with GB under 19, and I was like, I don't really know what to do, like career wise. And then UFC posted like a writer's wanted, and then I messaged, I can write. I've got history in that kind of stuff. So I messaged Caleb. He was like, oh, I'll put 2 articles together, and we'll see if you like him. I wrote him on Otis Newbury and Alex Greenhow. 4 years later, here we are. So it's definitely a big thing. And with the leap of faith as well, you said about that one. Like I went to Pride in Bristol, and we had people from like Holland, Belgium, Switzerland come to the UK, which is obviously a huge, huge difference. And then go from the States, like Gyro, West Virginia. Eric also went to West Virginia. Gyro's from Holland, came over to play safety linebacker at West Virginia. He's got huge. You said about like the the difference in weight training. He looks like an NFL athlete. He's massive. We had like Eric Stuttgart, who came from Sweden, came to Bristol, then moved on to West Virginia also.
Yeah, man. I think another thing is, love what you do. I mean, a lot of things would catch your eyes, but few things would catch your heart. Chase those things that catch your heart. When I was in Switzerland, I don't think a lot of people know this, but I was working for FIFA in the daytime. And then at night, I would go coach football for the Winter Warriors. I don't like using the word hate, but I hated my job at FIFA. I had good money, but I did not like my job. And that's when I made the decision, hey, you know what? I'm going to take the leap of faith and try to do the coaching thing overseas. And that's when I took the job at Independence, making nothing, and took leave off of my job in Switzerland, and kind of made it work. And I encourage everybody to, go for your goal. But I think sometimes we think it's supposed to happen instantly. It just doesn't happen like that. It's a journey, and you got to enjoy your journey. You only got one life to live. And one thing Doug Williams told me, he told me, you only got one life to live, but if you live it right, you only need one, so, all you young guys who don't know who Doug Williams is, make sure you look that up. But that's one thing that I've always thought to myself, if I live my life right, I only need one. If I do what I love, I only need one. If I chase the things that's on my heart, I really only need one life, so.
Full of quotes, man. Full of so many quotes. That's like the fifth one. I'm like, yeah, I like that one. I might take that. And then you say another quote, and I'm like, yeah, I like that one a little. I like that one too. I also use that one. And then 2 minutes later, another one. I'm like, oh yeah, I like that one as well.
They're all recycled and stolen. So you do the same. Still.
It's a coach's mentality. You've always got to have at least 5 or 6 quotes just to have on cue.
Yeah, that actually makes me want to ask, what's the best, Evan? What's the from you've been around the block just a little bit. What's the best quote that you've heard from whether it's a high level coach or a high level athlete, somebody well known, well respected? What's the best quote that you have from one of those guys?
My favorite one is "Find a way to finish," and that's from Eric Bieniemy. He always would tell us, "Find a way to finish and drag your tail across the finish line. Find a way. If you got to walk, crawl, if your brother's got to drag you, we're going to drag you across the finish line with us, but we're going to find a way to finish."
What about yours, Parker? What's your favorite one that you've heard from a coach?
Dominate or be dominated. That's very simple, very plain. I was in 7th grade. It's my first time playing football. I was very small, and I was playing defensive line, and I wasn't starting or anything. This was in summer camp, and my defensive coach comes up to me, and he's like, "Look, I know you're scared. I know you're new to football, but it comes down to one very simple thing: dominate or be dominated. You got the person in front of you, dominate him, or you're going to be the one on the ground." And I've took that very, very far. Obviously, I'm not playing defense anymore. I play offense. That's my biggest motivation right there as an offensive lineman. Dominate or be dominated. I'm not gonna let a defensive lineman come in and tackle my quarterback, tackle my running backs. I'm gonna dominate the person in front of me, put him on the ground, make him look silly. That's probably the best one of the best ones that I've heard just right off the top of my head. What about you, Matt?
I got 3 decent ones. So I got one, which is imagine a rival coach describes you as average build. That's that's a new fear. And then it's I think it was Eddie Adamade, corner Bristol, played in Sweden for a bit, said, "Do you really want to be on someone else's highlight reel?" And I was like, "No, I really don't want to be on someone else's highlight reel." That's a motivator. And then probably the best one was Ben Herod at Pride. I believe it was his granddad had we're all we've got, we're all we need on his plane when he was in fighting in one of the wars. And when we played against France, we had it was a big thing. I was about 16, 17. I wasn't the best player, so I just rode the bench. But then also I rode the bench behind some good talent like Charo and Eddie, Alex, all people. Alex went to Florida. Eddie's played pro, just got MVP in Birmingham on scholarship. And then some other couple other decent players, and we were doing like the thing. We're all we need was a big part of that success. We beat France for that first time in France using a fake punt at the end of the game to get the first down on fourth and secure the win. So I think they've got that on the back of their jerseys now too at Pride. We're all we've got on the back of the collar. So yeah, all you need is a good like catchphrase. Now that'll inspire 50 men to run through walls.
Yeah. It's nothing like those pre-game speeches get you going.
You see, the American pre-game speeches are different too.
In the locker room, in the tunnel, about to run out. And you get that one guy on your team, everybody's huddled around him. You get that speech going. You feel like you're about to run through a brick wall, and you do go and you run through the other team. Best feeling ever.
It was Jasper, linebacker in La Sierra. He's now in LA, and he was Dutch linebacker. And he used to just scream, everyone's got to be Lamborghinis and Ferraris out there. Everyone's got to be Lamborghinis and Ferraris. Go fast, go hard. And it was just like, even for me, who's not like a particular hype person, I can feel that one. I can feel that one. Just him screaming his energy. I think every team needs that like energetic player to just rise the team up into competition ready. Even at like halftime, see it down. I've obviously had games where we'd be down. And you really see like the difference in the players that want it and the players that don't want it. And that those halftime speeches, the people who are leading those are the ones that you want on your team.
Not a truer word has not been said. Just one more quote I'll echo. It's not from a coach. It's not from a player. It's from a movie. It's from, I don't even know, because I've never even seen the movie. It's from one of the Rocky movies. I've never seen any of them. But
oh no. You guys are young.
I've seen the Rocky films. I'm not that young.
I haven't seen any of them, but in one of the movies, because this is like the most inspirational, motivational quote that I've ever heard, and I've carried it with me. I heard it in like a football hype video I was watching before a football game, like 8th grade. Rocky goes, it ain't about how hard you hit. It's about how hard you can get hit and keep moving forward, how much you can take and keep moving forward, because that's how winning is done. That is the quote that has stuck with me throughout time.
So now that you got that quote, you got to watch the movie.
Yeah, how have you not seen Rocky, man? That's like,
you got to watch the movie.
Then again, I haven't seen Friday Night Lights. Some people get on me for that. But, we've all missed out on different things.
Very true. Very true. It was a good conversation, guys. I really enjoyed it. We're running out of time here. Just checking the timer. But yeah, any parting words?
Don't be described as average build.
Don't be on somebody's highlight tape.
That'll make you stay in the gym a little bit longer.
Hey, it's not about how you start. It's all about how you finish.
Okay.
That's what I'm with.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Evan, thanks again for being on another episode of Elite Cast. We really appreciate it. And to everybody watching or listening, keep going, keep grinding, take that leap of faith and finish strong. So that's it for today, guys. And this is Matt and Parker signing off.
Hello.